what you need to know about academic reinstatement. Whether you took a semester off without letting an advisor know, you were academically dismissed or disqualified, maybe you just stopped showing up to classes altogether, this video is made for you. So I'm going to break this video into 3 parts. The first is going to be what your 2 main options are for getting reinstated, then kind of what the rough steps look like for either option, and then I'm going to finish up the video with just some final hoops you might have to jump through that I've personally encountered in my journey of being reinstated. And so yeah, for context, I left school in the middle of the spring 2022 semester. By left, I mean literally stopped showing up for classes, stopped doing assignments, stopped altogether. Any participation I was partaking in, completely stopped that. And I was left in poor academic standing with my school. However, as of now, spring of 2024, I've been reinstated and am currently readmitted to Sac State, the school that I go to. Okay, so now a little caveat that I'm gonna recommend for you if you have any interest in returning to school at all is to make sure you have a reason to go back, because there are hoops you're gonna have to jump through that are gonna seem annoying, that are gonna be frustrating. But for me, I made a 10-year plan for myself, and in that 10-year plan, I really figured out I needed to go back to school and get a degree. And so just knowing that has really made all of these extra steps and these kind of issues I've ran into not seem all that bad. They've not been too discouraging. It's more been, oh, that's annoying, but now I have to go do this. And I just really think that if you are serious about getting back into school, you need to have a purpose and a reason to go back, not just going back to in school again. Okay, so your main 2 options are going to be either you file a reinstatement appeal with your school, whatever school you go to or you went to rather, or B, you are gonna have to apply for a community college and take some classes there, and then that'll kind of make your transition maybe a bit easier and a bit less worrisome. Might boost your confidence a little bit, but yeah, those are your 2 main options. Okay, so I'm going to focus on option A first because 1, this is what I did first, and 2, because if this doesn't work out for you, you can just go to option B. Okay, so like I said before, this is what I personally did. So the first step for being directly reinstated through filing an appeal with your school is, at least what I did, is I gave my admissions office of Sac State, the school that I attend, I gave them a phone call. And from that phone call, I told them position. I said, hey, I was here back in 2021, 2022, and I didn't do too well. I stopped showing up, and I really didn't like my classes or my major. But, you know, I took some time away from school. It's 2024 now, and I was working in some kitchens. I kind of learned a lot more about myself, where I want to be in 10 years, as well as kind of how I learned what study habits work for me. And they were able to kind of, 1, see that I'm really committed to this, and that it is in my plans, and that is what I want to do. But also it gave me an opportunity to hear from them what they recommend I do. And so what they said I do is, first, to say the obvious, that the appeal is online on the website, and they kind of guided me through it when I was on my phone looking it up. And then from there, they kind of gave me some tips and tricks on what things to kind of include in my reinstatement appeal. Just kind of some info that maybe I should add, or maybe info that I should keep out. Okay, so what you want to do from after your phone call with the admissions office is you're going to go ahead and find that appeal online. You're going to fill it out exactly as they say, use as many tips and tricks that you got, and also just be completely honest. I really think the more honest you are, the more they see that you're committed to this and that you really want it. So that's really all it is. It's very simple. It's not a hard process. It's just more, I think it's more of a mentally challenging thing. You're going to have doubts that you're not going to be able to get reinstated. You're going to have doubts that you can't go back to school at all. And that's just not the case. You definitely can. You might have to go to a JC, which we're about to talk to you about in a second, but you definitely can go back to school if that's your plan for yourself. So those next steps that I received in that email, which are probably gonna be different from school to school, but mine were to schedule an advising appointment with a reinstatement admissions advisor or academic advisor. And she basically told me kind of some of the rules, like until I'm in better academic standing, I can only take 12 units. If I fail any of my courses or do poorly and I don't raise my GPA from what it once was, then I probably be like fully disqualified from the school altogether and have to go to a JC or a different school and transfer back if that's what I would want to do. Or finally, just kind of last thing that me and her talked about, which was probably the most important, was what courses I need to take to come back. Like what courses I need to retake, what courses are probably best for me with a major that I changed into, because I was computer engineering before and I switched to business entrepreneurship. And so that was the next steps for me. And after that meeting, I really got all the information that I needed. Okay, so now for option B, it's really just as simple. It just might take you a little longer to get back into school. And the reason why is because you're going to be taking courses and classes and having meetings from that JC, not directly the university you're trying to get back into. So what you want to do for this is you're going to basically just apply online, look up your local JC. You can even do online courses the whole time you're there. You don't have to show up in person necessarily if it's not too close to you or whatever the case may be. And also with a JC, as I was kind of saying before, if you have a confidence issue, you're scared that you're not going to make it into a university right away. At least here in California where I live currently, as long as you're a resident with a high school diploma or like an equal level document or whatever it might be, then you automatically get admitted into that JC or that community college. And from there, what I would recommend you do is, again, kind of the same from part A, is call the admissions office of the university you're trying to transfer into, because they're still willing to help you figure out what courses you need to take, what GPA you need to have, and kind of get a rough outline of where you want to be before you file an official appeal to get back into the university. And then from there, what I would tell you to do is go to your admissions, or your rather an academic advisor at the community college you're attending or you're going to attend, and kind of give them the blueprint that the advisor from the university gave you, and just run some ideas by them of like what courses you should take and what you need to do for whatever your major may be, what GE courses are probably the best to get knocked out early, what prereqs you should probably be taking, all that sort of stuff. Also, kind of like I mentioned in part A, but speaking with someone in person, especially an academic advisor, they're going to be able to see that you're really passionate about this, you really want to come back, you really are going to put in your full effort, and they're genuinely willing to help you. They're real people who really do care, and they just want students to kind of get going, and like they want to help them move forward in life. They're not working against you, they're not adding in extra stipulations to make it harder. It's just there are some dumb rules that are dumb processes that are in place that you have to kind of go through. Okay, so now for kind of the extra things that I've encountered with being reinstated, which I mentioned a little bit before. I have a 12 unit cap, so I'm taking 4 classes, 3 units each. That's 12 units, but I can't take any more than that this semester. And also, if you get reinstated, your GPA is going to cross over from whatever it was before. So if you were in good academic standing and you just stopped, like attending, like you took a gap year, a gap semester, whatever it might be, and you didn't talk to an academic advisor about that, you're still in good standing with the school and you won't have these issues. But I can't join any clubs, play for any sports teams, or really do any extracurriculars involved with the school until my GPA is up. And that's been kind of a main thing for me, because obviously with being reinstated, you kind of feel like you want to be more involved with your school. At least I do. And it makes it a little bit harder. Still, there's clubs that meet outside of the school that you can join and things like that. So it's not a deal breaker by any means. Another quick story about some issues that I ran into was with being reinstated was actually changing my major while with reinstatement, because when I had filed for reinstatement, they ask you what major you want to be when you attend, if you were to be readmitted. And so I wanted to go back to school for business, specifically business entrepreneurship. And previously when I was at Sac State, I was a computer engineering major, very different, not very much crossing over. And also I did quite enjoy my courses and I stopped showing up. So I had a hold placed on my account from the computer science program because I did not have some meeting with some college of computer science advisor, because in my head back then I was like, I don't care, I'm not going to go through with this. But they placed a hold on my account, and that hold was still there 2 years later when I'm now switching over to business entrepreneurship, and the holds will like stop you from selecting classes or picking out your classes, or they kind of hold you back. So you need to get those removed. My case specifically, I had to go to the College of Business, and from the College of Business, I then went to the from the College of Business, I got a transfer my major from computer engineering to business entrepreneurship, or rather, because it's impacted here, I'm now undeclared with expressed interest in business entrepreneurship. Honestly, it's the same thing as long as I stick on the course. So, but from there, I had to go to the College of Computer Science, told them my whole scenario, the whole deal. They were kind of more of a pain about it. And then they said, because I'm an engineering major, technically, I need to go to the engineering building. So I went to the engineering building, and they had told me, actually, it's placed by computer science. So then I went back there. The College of Computer Science told me, if your major isn't already transferred over, then we're not removing the hold from your account. Obviously, I was like, that's ridiculous, because the paper's in place. It just hasn't been processed yet, because it's 3 p.m. or whatever time it was. And they said that they weren't going to remove it. So then, again, this is part of that having a purpose. I didn't really care how I was going to get this hold removed. I just needed to get it done. So I told them, I was like, hey, can I set up a meeting with whoever this advisor is that you need me to meet with to to get that hold removed. Although to me it seems pointless, at least it'll get removed and I can kind of not worry about it. And they said, yeah. And then they said, we'll give you an email with their schedule by end of day. And I was like, whatever. Okay. I left. 20 minutes later, I get a phone call saying, hey, Ryan, we removed that hold from your account. Sorry about that. It's the minor annoyances, but again, with that purpose, with that reason to come back, it doesn't affect me all too much. And yeah. Okay. So I want to leave with this. If you have a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, any plan at all that you really feel that you need to go back to university, get a degree, or even maybe not a degree, just need to take some courses that a university can provide you, do it. You have the opportunity. You are able to. You just have to start. Just start filing appeals. Start making a phone call. I highly recommend you do so if that's in the plans for you. And anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope this helped someone out there. And if you want to watch another video, like, feel free, comment, feel free. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.